about solving equations with variables on both sides of the equation. Okay, both sides. So 3.3 is solving equations with variables on both sides of an equation. Now, don't let this trick you or fool you or overwhelm you. It's really not as complicated as it looks. Here's what you want to pay attention for. Do we like dealing with negatives?
No.
No. So if I can avoid negatives, that is a good thing. Which means, whichever side has the larger variable, like this says 7n minus 5 equals 10n plus 13. Which side has the larger leading coefficient in front of a variable? 10. So what I'm going to do is I want to get this 7n over to this side so that I don't have a negative. So how do I get 7n from this side to that side?
Finding the like terms.
I am going to combine like terms. I'm not adding, Carter, because what is this right now?
Oh, subtracting, I'm sorry.
It is positive. So you're going to
Subtract.
subtract. So I'm going to subtract 7n from both sides. Okay? When I subtract 7n from both sides, I end up getting negative 5 equals, what's 10n minus 7n? 3n plus 13. Now, I always want my variable by itself. Can you solve from here? Do you know how to do this?
Yes.
Yes, what do you do?
You subtract.
No.
You subtract 3 and.
No, stop. Think before we speak. What do?
You subtract it.
You subtract 13.
Oh.
Subtract 13. Subtract 13. What is negative 5 plus negative 13?
Positive 8.
Positive.
Negative 8.
18. Negative 18.
Negative 18. Negative 5 plus negative 13 is negative 18 equals 3n. Now what do you do from there?
Divide by
You divide by 3. You divide by 3. And what is negative 18 divided by 3?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. So n equals negative 6. And now you have solved with a variable on both sides. Okay? Continue what? Yes, we're going to do more of them. Okay? But that's how you solve with a variable on both sides. I'll add some more over here. That's why I have blank spaces. Okay? Then they give us word problems that deal with this, which means I'm probably going to have to create variables on both sides of my word problem. Okay? So it says, the Spanish Club is arranging a trip to a Mexican restaurant in a nearby city. Those who go must share the $60 cost of using a school bus for the trip. The restaurant's buffet costs $5 per person. How many students must sign up for this trip in order to limit the cost to $10 per person? So we know that our costs are
$60.
$60 and
$5.
And we want it to be how much per person?
$10.
Okay. And we gotta set up an equation for that, correct? Okay. So what do you want your total to be?
10.
$10
$10.
per
student.
student.
Question mark.
2 per person. So I need this one side of my equation to say 10x. I need it to be $10 per student times the amount of students. Equals, okay, that is my total. I want my total to come out to 10 times however many people I'm taking. I don't know what my total is at this point, like it doesn't say your total bill is $500. It could be whatever, because it depends on how many people I plug in to here, okay? What does that 10 times my people equal though? What does it set equal to?
60.
60, because that's a flat fee, right? 60. And then what?
60 times
60.
10.
Sorry,
Plus
plus 5.
Plus $5
Dollars per person.
per,
Person.
which we are representing with
X.
X. So now I have variables on both sides of my equation. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how you can set up an equation when you don't know what the total is, or you don't know what is to be expected at the end. Okay? You're going to have variables on both sides. How would I go about solving this? Okay. Minus 10x. Okay, that's right thought. But why would I subtract 10x over here when I want x by itself in the first place? Is x by itself over here?
Yeah.
Yes, so what am I going to subtract?
By
5x, okay? If I subtract 5x, then I can get all the x's on one side of the equation and all the whole numbers on the other side. So right thought. So then I get 5x equals 60. Then what do you do from there? Divide by 5, and x equals,
12.
so you have to get how many students to sign up?
12.
12. Okay, 12 students, and it comes out to $5 or $10 a person. If you get more than 12, it's gonna be less than $10 a person, nice? Okay, yes, sir.
So, I gotta write all that down even if I know the answer right at the top of my head?
Yes, because I want to see your work. I want to see your work, Seth.
Hey, if I get confused in the work.
That's what I need to see your work, because later on, when we add more to this, and when you get into Algebra 1, you will get confused if you can't do it this way and set it up.
Oh, Lord.
Because it's gonna get to be harder numbers, fractions, decimals, percentages.
Oh, here
Yeah. Okay. Listen, this is important to recognize and know. You can have no solution when you are trying to solve these problems. You can also have multiple solutions or infinite solutions. We're gonna look at these green ones are gonna show us an example of both of those. Yes, sir.
Solution's the answer, right?
Solution's the answer. So when it says solve, I can get one solution, or I can get infinite solutions, or I can get no solution. Those are gonna be your three options now, okay? We'll take a look at what that means.
Say that again.
Okay, so tell me, if I want to solve this, how would I start? Someone besides Carter. E, what? Distribute. Great, I love it. So 5 times 2x is 10x, and 5 times 1 is 5, because you're multiplying, not adding. So I have 10x plus 5 equals 10x. Okay, first of all, does this side equal that side?
No.
No, and these numbers are the same. So what would I do to solve this from here? Yes, E? No. I want to subtract 10 because I want all the letters on the same side, okay, all the variables. So 5 equals what? Yeah, what's 10x minus 10x?
0.
0. You get nothing, right? Is this a true statement? Does 5 equal 0? No. So this is a example of no solution. Okay? So no solution happens when your thing comes out to equal something that it's not equal to. Okay? 5 equals 0. 2 equals 6. That's not a true statement. That is no solution. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I solve 6x plus 2 equals 2 times 3x plus 1? Okay, Carter, you tell me.
You distribute the 2.
Distribute this 2. So what I'm going to start with is I'm just going to copy this side down because I don't need to do anything to it. What's 2 times 3x? And what is 2 times 1?
2.
What do I see right there? It's the same thing. I don't even need to go further because it's literally the same exact thing. So this is,
Multiple solutions.
yes, multiple solutions, but we're going to
For
say
real?
it in a different way.
He said multiple solutions.
We're going to say infinite solutions, okay?
Infinite. Yeah.
Infinite.
What is it? Like,
Because I can plug a
What's
2
the word?
in here, and I'm going to get the same thing out on this side as I get on that side. I can plug in a -6, and I'm going to get the same thing and the same thing. What?
what if you only plug in -6 on one side?
You can't. Whatever you plug in, you have to plug into where any x is. That's the rule.
No.
So you're going to say infinite solutions. Okay? So we actually like these ones. These make our life a little bit easier because later on in algebra, when we get 2 or 3 variables in there, things get messy. We like these because we can just stop right away and we're like, we are done. There we go. We don't have to go any further. Okay? You will like those answers in algebra too. Trust me. Okay? So no solutions when they don't equal each other. Infinite solution is when they do equal each other. Otherwise, I just get a single solution. Okay? Now let's talk about a perimeter one. It says find the perimeter of the square. And I made you know that it was a square because I didn't draw a perfect square, so find the perimeter of the square. How can I set up an equation to figure that out?
That's not what I was thinking.
Okay, what are you raising your hand for?
I accidentally ripped my car.
Well, leave it on your desk.
For real.
We'll take care of it in a minute. Find the perimeter of the square. How can I set up an equation to find the perimeter of a square? Let's talk this through, Carter, before we answer. Perimeter is what?
sides.
all the sides added together. But do I have numbers in these sides? Like, do I just have one side that tells me it's 8? No, okay, but I have one side that says 2x and one side that says x plus 4. My problem is those aren't the same things, right? Okay, so what you have to do before you find this perimeter is you have to solve for x first. How could I set up an equation to solve for x first? What do you know about the sides of a square?
That they're equal.
They're equal. So what does that mean I should do with 2x and x plus 4?
You should make them equal.
You should make them equal to each other. So if I say 2x equals x plus 4, can I solve for x now?
Yes.
What do I need to do? Minus what?
2x.
Minus x.
Minus
Minus x. What's 2x minus x?
1x.
1x equals 4. So I divide by 1 and x equals 4. I am not done because it said find the. So what do I have to do with that?
You have to multiply it by 2.
Multiply
I have
2
to-
and add by 4.
Yes, I have to either put it into this one and multiply by 2, or I have to put it here and add by 4. Do I get the same thing when I do that?
It's
Yes.
all-
So if I say
It's
2
32.
times 4, that means one side is 8. So what is my perimeter? 8
don't know.
plus 8
32.
plus 8 plus 8, which is 32.
Can you go over that again?
I'm not thinking.
I'm retarded, what do you expect?
No, Jacob's
Don't
not.
say that.
Listen, here's the deal. So because I know it's a square, I know the sides are equal to each other. So to solve for x, I set this side equal to that side. Following so far? And I solve. So I subtract x from both sides, I get 1x equals 4, divide by 1, I get x is 4. That's not my answer though, because they asked what is the perimeter. To find the perimeter, I have to plug this back into the x. 2 times x, 2 times 4 is 8. So that means this side is 8. This side is 8. 8 and 8. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is perimeter, is 32 units.
So,
Yes.
what if it was a rectangle?
Or you could just do
If
8
it was
times
a
4.
rectangle, that's a good question. If it was a rectangle, they would have to give me more information, okay? They would have to give me something like this. They would have to tell me that the length and the width would have to have the same variable in it somehow so that you could set them equal to each other, or you could create an equation out of them. They're not gonna give you one like that on this homework, because that's not enough. They're gonna have to give you more information for you to do something like that, okay?
Alright,
Triangles, that they give them to you, they're gonna give you equilateral triangles. Why an equilateral triangle?
They're all equilateral.
cause it's equal on both
Because
sides.
all the sides are equal, okay? So they're going to, so read your directions carefully, okay? Let's try one more problem and then I will give you some homework to do.
Yes.
Let's solve this.
Yeah,
I like homework.
I'm happy now.
Oh, I see your.
Solve.
I see your.
M minus 1 equals 9m plus 15. Okay. So I said on these ones, let's see which side has the larger leading coefficient, okay? Which side has the larger one, m or 9m?
9M.
So what am I going to do with this m? Subtract it, good, subtract it. So I get -1 equals, what's 9m minus m? 8m
8M.
plus 15. Now, I want this to get by itself, so what do I have to do with this 15? Subtract 15. And I get -16 equals 8m. Now, how do you get rid of that 8?
Divide.
Do the ball.
16 by 8.
And m equals, this is what you're doing on your homework tonight.
Can I get another card?